you talk about the trying to uncover the why Portugal hasn't left, or I mean, I remember when I moved here. So I moved here in 2009. I moved to Portugal, and it wasn't fashionable then. It was, and people were like, "Why would you move to Portugal?" Of all the places that you, as a South African, could go, because the fashionable thing for South Africans back then was Australia, a bit of the US, Canada, and London. And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to move to Portugal," and people were like, "Why would you go to Portugal?" And then when I was living here, I'd just say to them, "Just come and visit. I can't explain it to you. Just come." And literally within 2 days, people would be like, "Okay, I get it." Like, it's difficult to explain. There's something.
So
It's
have
just
it's been a little while. Have you been able to identify the why?
that's the hard one. Obviously, the people. Nobody welcomes you like a Portuguese person does. That's the reality. It's just there's a way that they greet you. There's a way that you get greeted by the lady at the Plaza de Fruta. There's that you just don't get anywhere else. I mean, actually, just now I was having lunch with some clients, and the waiter greeted everybody with a handshake, and then he hugged and he kissed my client, and she's American. She was like, "What's going on here?" And I'm like, "No, no, it's just how we greet." And then I recognized the guy and I couldn't place him. And the next minute he starts asking me about my son. "How's Benji doing?" And he's asking by name, "How's Benji?" And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, where do I know this guy from? And then eventually I realized that the penny dropped halfway through the meal. My son and his son did swimming lessons together. But he remembers this, and I had to try and remember. And man, there's just, yeah, people do these, just the way they welcome you here, the conversations. I always say, Portuguese, the most rare commodity in the world today is time, and the Portuguese are the most generous with time, and that for me is huge. And the community side of things, the festa, the Portuguese festa, there's nothing like it. You can't explain it to people, because if you tell people about it, you go, "Yeah, well, there's some tables, and there's some food, and some wine, box wine usually, or some homemade wine, and there's some live music that sometimes is pretty good and sometimes is not very good. But everybody's together and everybody's happy and kids are running around and it just works, and yeah, so to put it into words is sometimes a bit more of a challenge. It's a feeling.
Yeah, it definitely is a feeling. And I wonder if the memories of a time when that stuff wasn't allowed to happen is what
Yeah.
makes it happen. And
Yeah, because we forget how recent this was with the dictatorship, and how people couldn't be together.
yeah, I mean, if they were together, they were presumed to be uh, conspiring against the government.
Conspiring
Yeah,
against the government.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
insane.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane. Yeah, that's actually, when you think of it that way, how deeply it's rooted. But I just see this just enjoyment of wanting to be together. And then you add this now, the last 10 years, how Portugal's become so well known amongst the foreign community, not just Americans, but the British have been coming for generations, the Dutch. And then I go to festas, and there's the Portuguese, of course, but then you'll see a table with some Dutch people and some Americans, and nobody cares. Just they're
Yeah.
just happy that they're there, and this wanting to just be together, I think, is just incredible. A good old a convivio, a proper Portuguese lunch.
Yeah.
It's not 2 hours, man. It's
It's a day.
and you slowly get drunker and drunker, and then eventually half the people are asleep on your sofa. It's awesome.
It's a day. It's a
Yeah,
day. I often say, like, there's a lot of countries where if you try to speak the language, they correct you. You know, in Portugal, if you just try, they embrace you, they applaud you.
yeah. And then they
And
switch
that's
to English.
and then they switch to English because they're the third most proficient English speaking
Insane. Yeah, 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 yeah,
country
yeah.
in the world,
Yeah.
right? Like